Hey everyone, today I'm going to review the best barbershop software that you can choose. So I've looked at some of the most important things that barbershops really need, which is of course client management, booking and calendar functions for employees and customers, as well as sales, waitlist management, and of course that branded website and marketing options. Now GlossGenius has a very simple layout, but it looks almost cartoonish to me. That aside, they do have this waitlist function where you can add someone to the waitlist and they get notifications if there is instant availability. So I know that a lot of barbershops deal with walk-ins, if that's something allowed. And even on the website, last minute waitlist options can make it really easy to capture walk-ins. So I like that there is this function. Now, it's not the only option with the waitlist function. Almost all of these have a waitlist function. Here, you can actually have a waitlist entry that sends an email or a text message when a client gets added or when there's an opening. And we have a lot of really great functions throughout each of these options that help you capitalize on making the most of people who are drop-ins or last-minute appointments. Now, that said, managing a calendar for those who have booked an appointment is, of course, equally important. As you can see here, this calendar is very simple. You can change it to the day. You can change it to a week, but that's all you get. So one of the things you'll notice is, again, a very simple grid layout. And you can click on a time here and add the client, add the services they're going to receive, and block off the time and then book that appointment. Now, GlossGenius has a very simple process for this. By comparison, if we go over here to, let's start with Mangomint, you look at the calendar function for each of the different employees. You can filter it, also limited to a day and week, and you do have that somewhat cartoonish sort of anime text here and a lot of simple colors. And then Boulevard, their calendar function to me looks much cleaner. You can choose the date, you can choose day, 4-day view, or a week. And of course, you can pick based on the staff who are available. You can pick the staff who are currently working, which I love. And you can check each staff member based on their color. So that's something that I really appreciate for larger barbershops, especially those that are managing a lot of independent contractors. You can associate a single color here. You'll notice the drop-down tab for the entire day shows you what appointments you have for each person. Now, as I mentioned, client management is a very important aspect of the right software. So the best barbershop software is going to let you manage clients in a very effective way. So when you click here, you'll see Ricky. As soon as you click on Ricky, it pops up with this client profile. This is one of my favorite parts of the Boulevard software. So if client management is one of your primary drivers in picking barbershop software, definitely consider the way you can manage and communicate with your clients through these profiles. Now, most of these options over here have client profiles. So if you were to book, it would show up here. You could search by name, all of that. But one of the limits, you can see with this Fresha layout, it's not as much fun. These are just pictures. I don't know what most of these mean. So you can see that you can add clients here, and it shows you some limited information about them. Likewise, when you click the calendar here, you'll see different information. You'll be able to click on the clients and pull up a profile, but this is a very limited profile. Boulevard has the most extensive profile for all of the clients, and I love that their names are links. No matter where a client name shows up in the Boulevard software, it has a clickable link that gives you all of this information. So at any given time, you can check on their history. You can see who they've had an appointment with. You can check on the messages. You can see if there are any accommodations needed for them. Now that leads to messages. One of the things I like most is being able to instantly communicate with your customers here in the Boulevard platform. So as you can see, the layout is very easy. You have messages up here with this nice little bar, very discreet, but it draws the eye. Here you have messages where you communicate with any of your customers. Those who want to book a last-minute appointment or get added to a wait list can communicate here. When you send auto reminders for things like booked appointments, or you send marketing information to capture additional memberships, discounts, or loyalty programs, if they respond, all of that information is right here in the same place. And you get a small little alert with a little number if there's one that's unread, and it's very easy to communicate. Now, Mangomint has a similar layout, so if that's something you are concerned with, they do have conversations here. You can see when an appointment reminder has been sent, see all of the different messages, but you'll notice that one of the key differences here is that the Mangomint message center or communication center will show you when you have sent auto messages. So you'll have several messages, dozens of messages, and as your business grows, hundreds of messages that simply have this same auto reminder. You'll see that with Boulevard, you can look at promo messages that you've sent, but in general, when you send a marketing message, an automated reminder, that doesn't populate here. So you send it and you'll see that information under the marketing information. You can check on the reports for those different campaigns, but it doesn't clog up your message center. And that's something I really like, especially if you have a front desk person who is managing all of this. Branded website is going to be very important as a big part of managing your clients. So if you're looking into the best barbershop software, the type of marketing options you have to support your website, that's going to matter. So here under marketing, one of the things I like about Boulevard is they do have the option to set up text campaigns. You can set out blasts and you can create new campaigns based on locations if you have more than one. You can choose email or text. And a lot of the automated campaigns that they offer are great things like filling slow days, birthday messages, reminders for clients who haven't booked an appointment in a set number of days. You can choose what that number is. Rescuing clients who haven't come back in a while, and notifying people when you have last minute appointments. And this is very good for barbershops that require appointments and don't have a walk-in service option. Now, Mangomint has somewhat similar campaigns. You can create campaigns, you can send them, you can choose filters. So there are different filters you can select for the campaigns that you are sending out to try and build more customer relations and, of course, increase your sales. And that has things like clients who are new, for example, recently created their profile or just had their first appointment, clients who have memberships based on their birthday or based on other items like upselling. So that's something that's important depending on the services your barbershop offers. If someone has booked an appointment in the future, you can actually set this to blast a text or email campaign with an upsell before their upcoming appointment to try and encourage them to book something else. So that's a feature that I like here. Now, Fresha, again, you have to kind of figure out what each of these mean. One of the key differences with Fresha is that they do have a marketplace. So they have a front-facing or customer-facing marketplace. You don't get that with Mangomint, nor do you get it with Boulevard. Mindbody has a somewhat similar design, but you don't get it with GlossGenius either. So if you are looking to increase marketing by not just sending out promos to existing customers, but capitalizing on new customers through different offers and things like Google reservations or Facebook and Instagram bookings, then Fresha is definitely something to consider. So one of the things I like about the way they have the marketplace is that you can not only market yourself on this page where people can look up the type of treatment they want or the location of the barbershop, the date and the availability, but they market new businesses. So when you list your barbershop and your brand Fresha, they might list your business here, making it easy for people to find you. If your business is trending in something, it'll also come up here. So this is a great way to build your client relationships and increase your revenue if you are interested in better marketing in addition to things like social media pages. Now, Mindbody has similar resources. So one of the things I like about Mindbody is the Class Pass. Now, they do have an app that has that front-facing option. So that is very similar to what Fresha has, and it helps connect you to new clients. You can market your company with the services you have to offer. You can do promos, and of course, you can increase your ability to get bookings from social media pages, from Google searches, and within the app. So that's something I really like. It is going to cost you more depending on the level of membership you have, and that applies to Fresha as well. Now, with Mindbody, I like so much more than just the front-facing or customer-facing platform when it comes to marketing. I like a lot of their marketing tools, not least of which is the Class Pass. So this is typically geared toward fitness, where you can list multiple classes and boost your reservations by offering discounts for people who book several classes at once. However, as a barbershop, you can convert this to booking certain services in much the same way as you would provide a loyalty package or a discount. So if that's something you're interested in, this Class Pass feature is worthwhile. However, Boulevard has really great options for increasing sales with things like memberships. And that can be very similarly set up where people pay a set price and they get a certain number of services at a discount. And of course, when it comes to overall function and usefulness, as well as price, Fresha is free if you are by yourself. So if you have a barbershop of one, you're not really going to pay much unless you want to add additional services. As soon as you start adding services, it's going to come at additional costs, and those costs can be a little sneaky. Mindbody pricing is also different. So you have different layers here, depending on where you are starting. If you are by yourself and you have one location, you're going to pay around $100 per month, and that will change based on what level of service you want and which features you want. GlossGenius has discounts and options that they provide, but their pricing structure is a little different depending on the size of your barbershop. So if you are working by yourself, you can expect to pay around $24 per month. If you have a team, you can pay $48. But if you want all of the features without having to deal with extra services that you add for a monthly price, it's going to cost around $148. So that makes it a little bit more expensive than what you have with Fresha and what you have with Mindbody. Now, Mangomint is more expensive than all of these. So Mangomint pricing is tiered very similarly, but that's going to be based on what services and features you want. So the basic one for a small team, a small barbershop of less than 10 service providers is $165. So that's already a little bit of a leap from these other options. But if you want options like the virtual waiting room, the things that are really important to barbershop success, you're going to end up paying $245. But for all of the services, without any hidden fees, it's going to cost $375. Now, Boulevard is admittedly the most expensive. They do have different tiers, but Boulevard is the only one that offers the most comprehensive services and features out of all of these options. So if you are a barbershop looking to consolidate all of the tools you currently use into one place, tools like marketing, tools like sales, tools like client management, as well as messages and a calendar function, this is going to be well worth the money, not least of which because they are the only option with this front desk feature. It is a great feature. It works very well in helping you manage who has checked in, who hasn't checked in, who's already arrived, as well as any information here, like you see a membership that's past due. So it's up to you to decide which one is best for your barbershop. If you are looking for a front-facing customer platform, Fresha or Mindbody are going to have what you need. If you are looking for more comprehensive features and functions, Mangomint or Boulevard. Now, Boulevard is the only one that's going to give you this front desk option. It's also going to offer this phone line to help facilitate new bookings, especially if people call from a link on your website or from social media pages. And then, of course, you have GlossGenius options, which are really great for access to things like loans, as well as simple functions, simple payments, simple client management, and marketing insights.